All right, kiddies. Gonna see if the old man can install a passenger side axle by himself. As you can see, we have the axle in and the hub is totally loose. You don't have to use this, but anything that will fit in this spot here in the control arm, right above the, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a round hole right there in each control arm. Each side you do it by getting it to it from the rear of the hub, and that allows me to put a little slack in it. We happen to have built this tool, but any spud bar would work. What I'm going to be doing, I don't know if you can see, but this round section here is the top of the ball joint. It's going to seat inside the bottom of the hub here, and in order to do that, I need to pull this down to get it down. But at the same time, I need to thread this axle in. The axle is going to go out through the hole, and of course, because this is not bolted, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. But here's where we're going to find out how clever the old man is. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling the hub forward. I've threaded the axle in from the back. I'm going to move the rotor, which moves the splines, and I'm going to make sure that the splines are not bind or otherwise seated. As you can see, it starts to come through. It can't come through unless it's threaded into the splines correctly, as you would imagine. So now here's the hard part. So with one person, as I'm pushing down, if I've got some blubber on this, I'm able to try and get the ball joint cup to come up under the hub piece here. But the way I found to do it on the other side, if you're by yourself, if you're not by yourself, have a fat person stay over here. But what I'm doing is I'm putting some lard on it here, and now I've got both hands free to try and get that to seat. There's a variety of ways to do this. Another would be to sit on it. But if you get enough on it, enough lard on it, the problem is I can't see at the same time, and I can't move the hub that way. There we go, that's better. Can you see right there what I'm trying to do? That cup needs to come up under here into this cup. Now there's other ways to do this rather than just brute force. One would be a spring compressor on the coil spring, would drive it up. If I move this arm back, I now have more leverage. But the problem is, as one person, I can't be in two places at once. And it may be that I'm not able to do this by myself. But how far off am I? Well, I'm quite a ways. Let's get the full. There's one case where it pays to be fat. Another option I may have done on the other side is this, which I'm sitting on it now. I'm sitting on the bar. I have my full weight on the bar. If I can sit farther out, this is not elegant, but it would appear, no, almost, not quite. What about if I use my feet instead of my hands? Oh, I think we got it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to verify that we got it. That cup goes in and it only has one place to go, and then you don't have to put much pressure on it to rotate the top plate of the ball joint around. Yeah. So now all I gotta do, punch this up. There we go. And now I'm gonna be able to line up the 3 bolts at the bottom. Of the ball joint. And as you would expect with these 3 bolts, once you get 1 and then 2, then they all just kind of go together. That's pretty close. At least that's close enough to red one. This plate is quite precision machine, for lack of a better term. It's shit. All right, I've found the technique though. As long as I stay behind the hub, I can put enough force on it. To get some clearance to move that plate wherever I want it and get one of these bolts threaded. However, I could do this, but I'm about to have a heart attack, so we're gonna stop and I'll have Paul help me just by pushing down the bar and we'll be done. And that's it. Isn't that fun? She's a goddamn lovely man.